Here in Harris County, local law enforcement experts are working alongside the district attorney's office to make progress on both stopping and prosecuting fentanyl dealers.
Yeah, a lot of this action is coming after they joined together to form the Fentanyl Task Force. This morning, we are joined by Garrett Moore, the chief of narcotics for the Harris County DA's office, to learn more about this. Good morning, Garrett. Thank you so much for being here.
Morning. You're welcome.
Okay, this is a topic that parents really need to pay attention to right now, and you guys are working or have set up a fentanyl task force. Tell us about this.
Yeah, so the DEA here in Houston, under Special Agent in Charge Danny Como, as well as Chief Finner with HPD and Sheriff Gonzalez with the SO's office, have really come together and given resources to a task force with the DEA, under the DEA, that's working to target and investigate fentanyl deaths and then bring them to our office to prosecute. So they work really closely with myself and our staff to find these cases that we're able to charge.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it as well. We heard about a sobering statistic. We recently heard from Daniel Como. Let's take a listen to that.
Fentanyl right now continues to be the biggest threat in our country. It's causing overdose and poisonings at an alarming rate. Right now, 70% of the pills that are on the street can cause an overdose, can cause a death. So if you take a pill, a counterfeit pill, a fake pill off the street, you have a 70% chance of dying.
This statistic is terrifying. It's terrifying for parents and trying to get that message to our teenagers, our kids. So how is the task force responding to these statistics?
So they're really targeting fentanyl dealers on the front end, but then on the back end, unfortunately, my office is reactive, and so by the time we become involved, a crime has been committed or someone has died. So we are doing the best we can to respond to these deaths and charge them appropriately, so that we're hoping essentially that there's a effect down the road that reduces the rates of these deaths and the sale of fentanyl.
Yeah.
Such important work you guys are doing. Garrett, talk to us about how social media is now impacting drug deals.
So social media is essentially being handled by drug dealers the same way it is by any legitimate business. And so what that means is that it's used to advertise, it's used to facilitate sales, it's used to connect with clients, and it's used to make sure that sort of a buyer and a seller can come together. And it's used that way the same reason it is in legitimate businesses. It's an effective advertising tool, and it essentially makes that job easier.
I know so many of our kids and our teenagers are on social media. Mm-hmm. It's kind of easier to connect with them as well.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Okay, so a new law went into effect September 2023 where there's first-degree charge of murder by fentanyl with a punishment of 5 to life. DA Kim Ogg calls it a major drug policy improvement here in Texas. What is the message that you are trying to send to these offenders?
The message we're trying to send is that essentially if you're selling what is effectively poison to members of our community and someone dies as a result, that it's going to be treated like a murder charge. You've caused a death and you're going to be held accountable for that. Mm-hmm. It's no different than pulling the trigger. It's no different than stabbing someone. It's action that you've taken to sell this poison, and made worse by the fact that you've done it for profit.
And this law just went into effect, but you guys are already having progress with it.
It went into effect on September the 1st of this year. We have charged 2 cases in Harris County so far. Surrounding counties have charged a handful more. And then we always have a sort of rotating line of cases that we're investigating, and we'll be making charging decisions on when we reach the point where it's appropriate.
What can parents or really anyone do if they think that their loved one is being targeted by a drug dealer, would you say?
The most important thing I can tell parents is to keep law enforcement in the loop. If they think that there is someone selling narcotics to their youth, let the police know before it becomes a poisoning, a death, an overdose that's non-fatal, any of those things. Second is be aware of what your kids or your loved ones are doing and have the passwords to their phones. I know that's hard with kids. I know they want their privacy and they don't want to share, but when a death unfortunately happens, that is the most powerful tool that law enforcement has to trace that person who sold those narcotics and who caused that death. And that is the phone that will have a record of what happened.
Yeah, would you say we are at a point now that it is between life and death, this fentanyl crisis?
No question. I mean, like Special Agent Como said in that clip, is these pills are counterfeit pills. They look exactly like whatever they're supposed to be. Percocets, Oxycontin, Adderalls. They are virtually indistinguishable. And so any pill that you buy off the street, off of a friend, no one knows what's in it. It could be fentanyl, it could be methamphetamine, it could be nothing at all. And so that line between life and death when we're talking fentanyl is so thin, and it can happen incredibly quickly.
Yeah. Don't want to take that chance. Don't want to take that chance. All right, Garrett Moore, Chief of Narcotics for the Harris County DA's office. Thank you
for
being with us this morning.